Ever wondered why that one person keeps occupying space in your mind, like an uninvited tenant? Whether it's an ex, a crush, or even someone you barely know, it feels as though they've established a permanent residence in your thoughts. No eviction notice, no reason, just constant appearances you didn't sign up for. Turns out this isn't just some random glitch in the wiring of your brain. Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, believed that when someone lingers in your thoughts, it's not by chance. In fact, it might be one of the most significant clues for understanding yourself. So, what's really happening here? Is it love, obsession, or something deeper that even you might not fully comprehend? Let's dive into Jung's theories: the shadow, the anima and animus, projection, and the mysterious force of synchronicity. By the end of this, you might see that person in a completely different light. Or perhaps, you'll come to realize that it's not really about them at all. Jung's theories. Carl Jung once said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." He believed the human mind was like a labyrinth filled with hidden passageways leading to treasures of self-discovery. Yet, most people avoid venturing into these dark corners, choosing instead to remain on the surface, preoccupied with daily life, while the unconscious mind quietly works behind the scenes. When someone repeatedly appears in your thoughts, Jung believed it wasn't a mere coincidence, but rather a wake-up call from your unconscious. Picture your mind as an iceberg. The visible tip represents everything you're aware of, your thoughts, feelings, and memories. But the massive, unseen portion below the surface, that's your unconscious, where the majority of your mental activity occurs. This hidden realm is home to your repressed desires, unresolved emotions, and unacknowledged fears. When someone keeps resurfacing in your thoughts, it's often because they've activated something buried deep within that unconscious space. Perhaps they said or did something that resonated with an old memory, or maybe they embody qualities you wish you had. According to Jung, these are not mere coincidences but signals from within. The good news? This doesn't mean you're doomed to be haunted by them forever. Instead, it's an invitation to pay attention to what your mind is trying to reveal. The shadow theory. Meet your shadow. No, it's not the thing that follows you on sunny days. It's the part of your psyche you'd rather not acknowledge. Jung described the shadow as everything you've repressed, denied, or ignored because it doesn't fit your ideal self-image. Here's where it gets interesting. The people who linger in your thoughts might actually be reflections of your shadow. For example, you might admire someone's confidence because deep down, you struggle with self-doubt. Or perhaps you're drawn to their creativity because you've neglected your own. On the flip side, someone who irritates you might embody traits you refuse to admit you have, such as arrogance or impulsiveness. Jung believed that our relationships with others often mirror our relationships with ourselves. When someone occupies your mind, they might represent a part of your shadow that's crying out for attention. It's as if your unconscious is tapping you on the shoulder, saying, "Hey, we need to talk." Recognizing this can be transformative. Instead of obsessing over why you can't stop thinking about them, start asking yourself, what part of me are they reflecting? And how can I grow from this? The shadow isn't something to fear, it's something to explore. As Jung wisely noted, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The anima and animus, the inner relationship. Now, let's explore two of Jung's most intriguing concepts, the anima and animus. These archetypes represent the feminine and masculine aspects of the psyche. The anima is the inner feminine in men, while the animus is the inner masculine in women. But don't get too hung up on gender. These are symbolic concepts that apply to everyone. So, what does this have to do with someone living rent-free in your head? Jung theorized that when you're fixated on someone, it's often because they resonate with your anima or animus. Perhaps they align with your subconscious ideal of a partner, or maybe they awaken qualities within you that you haven't fully embraced. For instance, you might be drawn to someone's emotional depth because it mirrors something you're craving in your own life. Here's the catch. It's not always about attraction. Sometimes the anima or animus can create illusions, leading you to project an idealized image onto someone. You see them not as they are, but as your unconscious desires them to be. This can lead to confusing emotions and even misplaced attachment. Understanding this dynamic can be a game changer. Instead of asking, "Why am I obsessed with them?" ask yourself, "What part of me are they awakening?" The people who occupy your thoughts often reflect the most intimate aspects of yourself. The concept of projection. Here's where things get really fascinating. Jung believed that much of what we feel about others has little to do with them and everything to do with us. This phenomenon is called projection. Think of it as a mental movie theater. You take your own thoughts, desires, and fears and project them onto another person as if they're the star of the show. Let's break it down. Imagine you admire someone for their ambition. In reality, this might be a quality you wish you had more of, or a trait you already possess but haven't fully acknowledged. Conversely, you might dislike someone because they remind you of a quality you fear in yourself, such as being overly critical or emotionally distant. Your unconscious uses them as a screen to project parts of your psyche that need attention. Here's the tricky part. Because projection feels so real, it's easy to mistake these feelings for objective truths. You might think they're amazing or they're terrible without realizing you're actually talking about yourself. Jung saw this as an opportunity for growth. When you catch yourself obsessing over someone, stop and ask, "What am I really seeing here? What does this say about me?" By owning your projections, you can reclaim those parts of yourself and stop giving others so much power over your thoughts. Synchronicity, it's not just a coincidence. Have you ever thought about someone only for them to text you moments later? Or perhaps you've been thinking about them for weeks, and then you bump into them unexpectedly. It feels like the universe is winking at you, doesn't it? Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity or meaningful coincidences, and he believed it was no accident. Jung defined synchronicity as events that are connected not by cause and effect, but by meaning. When your thoughts and external events align in a way that feels significant, it's a sign that something deeper is at work. Perhaps your unconscious is so focused on this person that it influences your perception of reality. Or maybe there's a larger, unseen force linking your inner world with the outer one. But here's the twist. Synchronicity isn't just about random chances. Jung believed it was a call to action, a moment to reflect on why this person is showing up in your life and what you're meant to learn from it. Are they triggering unresolved emotions, representing a path you're afraid to take, or simply reminding you of your own power to create meaning? The next time something synchronistic happens, don't dismiss it as mere coincidence. See it as an opportunity to dig deeper into your unconscious. How to decode your thoughts. Now that we've unpacked Jung's theories, you're probably wondering what you can actually do about someone who won't leave your thoughts. Jung's ideas aren't just fascinating. They're practical tools for self-awareness and growth. Here are 3 steps to help you decode what your mind is really trying to tell you. Reflect. Start by asking yourself, what emotions come up when I think about this person? Are you inspired by their confidence? Frustrated by their aloofness? Drawn to their sense of adventure? Pinpointing your feelings is the first step to understanding what they represent. Analyze. Dig deeper into what those feelings mean. For example, if you admire their creativity, it might be because you're craving more of that in your own life. Or if their rejection stings, it could highlight an old wound around self-worth. Journaling or meditating on these questions can help you uncover the root causes. Act. Use these insights to grow. Maybe it's time to build confidence, embrace your creative side, or heal old emotional scars. Remember, this isn't about changing the other person. It's about transforming yourself. As Jung wisely said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. By decoding your thoughts, you can turn an obsessive mental loop into a roadmap for personal growth.